Welcome to another live video. Yes, this is live in case you're wondering with the crisp quality of this stream. It's 100% live, and in this stream, in this broadcast, we're going to be diving deep on what it means to be in a competitive state, stuck in a competitive frame, you could say, as opposed to being in a collaborative state, and ultimately how to transition out of the heaviness and the limitations of being in this competitive state so that ultimately you move into a collaborative state and you win. Okay, this is how you actually win. And we're going to dive deep on some of my personal experiences with this. We're going to dive deep in terms of how this affects you socially when going out and, say, meeting new people. And even deeper than that, right, we're going this deep today, how this affects the way that you approach life, the way that you live life, how it affects your purpose, your goals. I mean, everything. Okay, collaborative versus competitive. That is the theme of today's broadcast. And once more, yes, this is live. Okay, I'm reading through the comments right now. Someone's like, the return of the Horde. And actually, yes, right, that does bring up a good point where on the last stream we discussed what we wanted to call ourselves. And it seems like we're going with the Horde. Okay, so if anyone asks, like, oh, I'm part of, the light workers or the miracle manifestors, the miracle manifestors, the light workers, and then there's the Horde. It's like, what about you? It's like, oh yeah, I'm part of the Horde. The Horde, and just really own it. Be like, yeah, the Horde, right? Oh, you ever hear this Julien guy and his Horde? Yeah, I'm part of it. So that's the name. And if you don't like the name, then tough. No, I'm kidding. If you don't like the name, here's the thing. You don't have to be part of the Horde, right? We're a very consensual Horde. We should actually go by the consensual Horde, meaning you gotta want to be a part of the Horde to be a part of it. So if you don't like the name, you don't want to be called the Horde, you don't gotta. But if you would, I just find this name so ridiculous, so obnoxiously ridiculous. That's who we are. So if you identify as the Horde, in every video, drop a comment below, just letting everyone know, the Horde was here. So that's a little side note here when it comes to who we are. Everyone's like, I don't know about this Horde. Again, we're a consensual Horde. You don't have to be a part of it. But if you do, things are pretty Horde-y. Okay. So a little side tangent, but it does also bring me to one order of business, and then we're going to dive right into this. And that is that next month, okay, April 15th to 18th, what's happening? Live events are back. And you can go to this link right here, Miami Winter Summit. Okay, it's a 4-day live event in Miami. Okay, I'm going to be there. If you've watched some of my videos, my friend Owen's going to be there. And we're going to be going ham and running a 4-day live event. You can go to this link and book your seat. Okay, it's the early bird special, if you will. So don't put this off. Don't wait. Book your spot and come see us live in Miami, right? People are like, when will live events be back? Hey, they're now back. And not just anywhere, but in one of my favorite cities at one of the best times to go to this city. So once more, April 15th to 18th. And if the dates are like, I don't know if I can make the whole thing, that's fine as well. But just go to Miami Winter Summit and book your spot. Okay. The comments are still like, the Horde, the Horde. Jeffy will be there too. Yes. I'll be there. Owen will be there. Jeffy will be there. It's going to be crazy, and we're going to be presenting a lot of our latest ideas, latest technology. You're gonna love it, and you don't want to miss out on this. Okay, especially if you're someone who might have felt a little, you could say, bogged down by, this past year when it comes to, say, lockdowns, restrictions, so on and so forth. It's very easy to just kind of feel like, you're weighed down. It's hard to take action. You're just spending so much time at home that, the allure of the Netflix or the Amazon Prime or the Hulu is just very strong. So procrastination, from what I've seen with people that I've been working with, for my clients, procrastination is through the roof. If you procrastinated before all of this, chances are you're probably procrastinating now even more than before. So if that's you and you just want just a good wake-up call, right, a way to just kickstart things back into gear again, then go to Miami Winter Summit and book your spots. Come enjoy some sun and come enjoy some good times, okay? And everything will be extremely safe, okay? Extremely safe, so safe, the safest ever in Miami, okay? So Miami Winter Summit, that is the 15th to the 18th. Who do I want to see there? I want to see the Horde, okay? The Horde must represent Miami Summit. So yes, I will see you there. That being said, let's get into this. Okay, so this whole idea, it's like, and another reminder, this whole idea of competitive collaborative actually came up today. I just jumped off a mentoring call, okay, which, by the way, plug number 2, go to Julien Mentoring if you'd like to get personalized coaching, okay? Personalized coaching where I take you by the hand, and this is my deepest content, the most transformative content. You can also go to this link to book a free coaching call. So another order of business, make sure you go to JulienMentoring.com. But this came up on, man, links are going crazy today. It's that Horde energy. But this came up on the call today. Okay, so a client asked me, he's like, so, you know, we hear these terms like competitive, collaborative. What exactly does that mean, right? To be in a competitive state versus a collaborative state. What does that feel like? What changes when you move out of it? How do you move out of it? And this is what we're going to dive into right here. Okay, so I'll take you back to me, you know, in my early days of self-help. I found out about this whole self-help world back in 2006. That's when I first started working on myself. And back then, I was very much so in a competitive state. Okay, I considered myself, the identity that I had taken on is, I'm down here, right? I don't have much value. I'm not very cool, extremely shy, extremely stifled, and I'm going to work on becoming cool. Okay, so we're going to start with the social aspect here. And I started getting into this, like, okay, well, how do I become cool? How do I become more social? How do I do it so that if I walk into a venue, walk into a room, I just feel really comfortable and people just love me? And what happened is I started making some progress, of course, but it was all done under this competitive umbrella, you could say, where this is how I used to experience going out, by the way, socializing. Something that should be very fun, very light. For me, it was always very heavy. It was like I'm going to war. And I don't know if you can relate, if you know, you used to be like me or if you are like me right now. You know, this is my typical timeout, right? I'm like, okay, Friday, I'm going out and I'm going to work on my social skills. That was me back in the day. Friday it is. And Friday would come around, and instead of being excited, being happy, like, here we go, let's socialize, meet people, I was prepping and I was taking it very seriously. I'd be at home and I'm like, okay, X amount of hours till it's time to go out, X amount of hours till it's time to socialize, X amount of hours till it's time to go to war. And I'd be prepping, and it was just like this heavy competition, and I would go out, and of course all the pressure was there, and whenever I'd walk into a venue, this is the state of mind that I was in. I walked in and it was, okay, let's assess first of all where we stand. Who has more value in this environment? Who has low value in this environment? Where do I stand on the value totem pole? Interesting. Okay, so this is where I stand. Great. Now, who are the people who are probably judging me? Who am I going to have to prove wrong? Who am I going to have to, you know, just really outvalue and just show that I'm amazing? And it's once more this me versus. And this put me in this very, you could say, contracted state, this very defensive state, where I was always on the lookout, right? If someone was talking to me, I'm like, okay, well, what's their plan, right? Where are they going to try to bring me down? Where are they going to try to throw me off? And it was always this battle. Even with interactions, by the way, that went amazingly well, it still felt like this battle where I was putting on this crazy front, and I was always so scared that people would really see through that and see the real me, and they were testing it, right? Oh, are they congruence testing me now? And it was this just very me versus others, me versus the world, heavy, draining, limiting type of experience, okay? And I stayed stuck in that competitive state for a very long time. And it doesn't mean that I didn't make progress. I actually made a lot of progress, but within the limitations of that competitive state. Meaning you can optimize this, right? For a lot of people, this is what they experience by default. When they go out, it's like, it's me versus others, and they're just way too scared, and that's what shuts them down, and they probably just stay home. right? But for me, I kind of barreled through and started optimizing things. I'm like, okay, well, what are some of the tells that people are trying to play status games with me? Okay, what are the typical ways that people are going to try to test me? Let me write that down and let me come back with a comeback to that, right? And I'd write down all the comebacks, and I would be very aware of all these things, and I would try to kind of amplify, like, okay, well, I'm going to dominate here and there and show how cool I am. But once more, I never really enjoyed it. And I never made it to that level of cool that I was ultimately after. And here's the thing, that level of cool, the reason I didn't make it is because coolness isn't in competitiveness. It's when you shift out of this state and you move into a collaborative state. It's not a me versus, it's a, hey, we're all on the same team, all is good. And you stop worrying about all these power plays and power dynamics and this state of just paranoia. That's not cool. Okay, so this is the first thing I really want to let land here. Okay, if you think of this idea of cool, I want to be cool. How do I be cool? What we do is we look at people who we think are cool and we're like, how do I get up there? How do I climb up the totem pole in terms of status? But realize this, someone who's cool isn't worried about that. So by you trying to be cool, trying to climb up once more that totem pole, you're by default not cool. And people will sense that. And here's why. Whenever it's you versus it's another person, the environment, you name it, me versus the world, it immediately puts you in a state of reaction. You're in a reactionary state, right? Reacting to that enemy, reacting to your competition, and by default, that's gonna lower you in terms of how cool or how valuable, you know, your vibe is, because it's just this very needy and reactive try-hard state. As opposed to someone who doesn't even care about this totem pole, someone who's transcended that paradigm and who just walks in and is like, you know what, I'm cool. Why? Just because. I don't even worry about being cool. I don't have to try to be cool. I just transcended that. And that is actually what makes me cool. So if right now you're trying to be cool, you're by default not cool. The only way is to stop trying to be cool, snap out of that competitive state, and stop caring about it. And realize, hey, it's all good. Nothing to prove. We're all on the same team. There isn't this made-up enemy, right? This made-up competition. And now you get out of this reactionary state. And here's the cool thing. Now, because you're chill and grounded, people start reacting to you. And there's the domino effect of just how cool you are and how that just translates through a venue where everyone's reacting. Nothing's a big deal. You're just like, oh yeah, all this good. Nothing throws you off. It's fun, you're enjoying it, and the cycle just moves up. Okay, so this is just a very simple example when it comes to socializing, but we think that if we socialize, if we just go in once more, me versus, how do I impress? How do I show my value? How do I not show insecurity? We think that's what makes us cool, but no. It's the person who doesn't care about that. The person who doesn't view, oh, an interaction is me versus, but we're all on the same team. It's all good. And when you shift, things change drastically. Right? You think, oh, that might make me weak, you know, or gullible. No. When I walk in a venue now, instead of this immediate pressure that I used to feel, it's chill. I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? All is good. And when people come up and even try to do this competitive stuff, because I'm not reacting, because I'm in a different paradigm, they just look try hard. It's like the person who's like, oh, hey, I learned about this cool body language. Nice to meet you. Like the overly try hard, you know, shake. If you don't react to that, you're just like, they just look very try-hard, right? The best way to illustrate this idea, right, competitive versus collaborative is, this is a very, you could say graphic example, but it really nails the point. There's this old tale, right? I think it's in a movie, maybe a Tarantino movie, but also it's a tale, I don't know. Anyway, here it is, okay? There's two bulls on a hilltop looking over a field of cows, right? There's the father bull, and then there's the little son bull. And the son's looking down at all these cows, and he's jumping up and down, all excited, all reactive, like, oh, the cows. And it's like, Papa cow, can we just run down and sleep with a cow? Can we run down and do ourselves a cow? And the father bull looks down at the reactive little bull and says, son, no. Let's walk down and do them all. That is when you shift to collaborative. It's You're still grounded. You're tapping into your source of power as opposed to this reactionary force. Okay, power versus force. And instead of being the little, let's go do a cow, let's go do a cow. Let's walk down, take our time, because we're chill, and let's do them all. That's the shift in terms of the vibe when socializing. Screaming through some of the comments here. Someone's like, I'm going to limp handshake everyone. Technically, you could. The thing is, it's only a big deal if you think it is, right? If you're going in and you're against, like, say, that father bull, if someone's like, oh, hey, how's it going? And you just give the limpest handshake, but you just own it and don't care, because you're by default less reactive and care less than that person cares about it, they're going to react to you. They're going to be like, wait a minute, what is this? Was the limp hand a power play? Wait, what? And that's going to basically fuel them to spiral out of control and react even more. It's never the thing. It's really the place it's coming from. You could do all the quote-unquote right things on paper, but if it's done in a competitive state, people just sense that energy. That defensive, frenetic, needy energy, that reactionary energy, as opposed to someone who's like, I'm just chill. You know what? I'm so cool, I can break the rules of cool. I'm so cool, I can do the limp handshake and get away with it. That's true coolness. Okay. Let's see. Julien, are you invested in Bitcoin? Perhaps. Someone's like, hi, everyone. Why, hello. Welcome to the live stream. Such great words of wisdom. I know. I never hold back for the Horde. Anything for the Horde. I'm already cool on my way to being more cool. Yes and no. Remember, that's the thing. The competitive is I'm not cool and I'm trying to be cool, right? It's you're still in this this scale, if you will. Someone who's truly cool doesn't even care. Resigns from the competition of trying to be cool. Isn't even worried about where they stand cool-wise. That's what makes them cool. Okay. Another example, by the way, for me was in public speaking. You know, some of my very first times public speaking, my early seminars, it was the same thing. You know, when I would go up on stage, it was like I'm going to war, and I had, you know, it was me versus the crowd, even though I'm there to help the crowd. Okay, it doesn't take away from the intention. I'm there to help them, but my beliefs were, I'm going up on stage and I have to show them that I'm good enough to help them, right? They're probably thinking that I suck and I got to prove them wrong. Me versus. And that was the state of mind that I was in. And I'd go up on stage and it was very heavy, right? It was very try-hard in a way, very forced. Even me trying to be loud, like very just reactionary to the crowd. They were the ones setting the rhythm. And I was just running around just trying to be cool in reaction to them. And it was a terrible experience for me. And it just didn't give the nicest, just, you could say, most epic speeches. You know, as opposed to, you know what? Why am I assuming that they're against me? What if they're on my side? Where did I start believing that people are against me, that I have to prove myself? And how would things change if they're on my side? And suddenly you relax. Okay, instead of, this is the other key, when you're in a competitive state, it's me versus, you then have to rely on what we call control muscles. I got to control how loud I am, right? I'm stifled, they're against me, but I'm going to force and control how loud I am. I'm going to control how powerful, you know, my delivery is. It's control muscles. And those are very limiting, right? Not only are they reactionary, but they're very limited. When you shift to collaborative, it's, you no longer need to control, it's release muscles. All that stifledness just fades away. And instead of this force vibe, it's just this very powerful vibe. Okay, you can read a book called Power versus Force by David R. Hawkins, game changer of a book. Okay, so that really shifts, right? This heavy versus all is good. And this is ultimately what allows you to crush it, because when you're in a competitive state, you're playing not to lose. When you're in a collaborative state, that is when you play to win. Okay, and we're going to go deeper on that once more, but I'm just laying out the foundation here. Okay, someone said effortless. Yep, 100%. It's just, and it's still like a lot of action. People think effortless means you're not doing anything, right? It's like me going on stage just like, oh, cool. No, I'm still talking, but instead of this forced in my head, it's I'm present and things are flowing out. Okay, actually, another great example, and this is in Transformation Mastery, the digital course. I used to do this a lot during live events to illustrate this point, where I'd bring someone up on stage And I would have them stand on stage next to me. And there's footage of this in the program. And I told them, okay, for 30 seconds right now, just so you get a feel for this, because you might hear this and still think, no, I need someone to fight against and prove wrong. That's when I'm the strongest. No. Here's the example. I told the person, for 30 seconds, you're going to talk to this crowd about your favorite movie. That's it. For 30 seconds, just own it, right? Oh, my favorite movie and why you like it. During that time, for 30 seconds, the crowd is going to boo you. So during the whole 30 seconds, my favorite movie, it's boo! Okay? The person on stage versus. And then they have to kind of power through with the booing. So that happens for 30 seconds. And the person talking about the movie just notices what that feels like, how the delivery comes off. And people booing, they can also hear the delivery. Then I'm like, okay, after 30 seconds, stop. You're going to do it again, but this time the whole crowd is going to cheer you on. Does it again, and can you guess which delivery was the most powerful? The cheering you on. We think we need this counterforce, right? This big obstacle, this thing to fight against for it to be glory. No. You need to remove that. It's when everything's on your side that you actually tap into your potential, not when things are against you. That just puts you in reaction and focused on that thing versus the win. Okay? With the booing, it's I'm playing not to lose against the crowd. When the crowd's on my side and we're in the collaborative state, there's nothing to play not to lose again. I'm just playing to win. That's power. Okay? It sounds like Mr. Mustachio, yes. How do you get in the flow? In the past, I would rely a lot on momentum. And sure, right, momentum still plays a certain percentage in terms of how I get into a flow. But at this point, to be honest, I can just tune into it like that. Like these lives, I literally just sit down. I'm like, okay, is everything good? Okay, check. We go live. Hey, welcome to another live. Just crack right into it. That's it. I have a couple bullets. The rest is pretty much riffing it. In the past, I'd have to really amp myself up, right? Like momentum, talking to people. Maybe I'd get on a phone call with a friend and start getting in a talkative state and then do the live. But when you really learn how to let go, you don't need to rely on all that anymore. If you're someone who really needs a lot of momentum, you need to learn how to let go instead. Okay, and if you'd like to learn how to let go, can you guess where to go? JulienMentoring.com. Okay, you can go to this link. You can also click the link below this video. It'll send you to the same page, and you can book a free coaching call where you'll gain a lot of clarity on the blind spots that you have. If you're unsure in terms of what to focus on, what to do, if you have questions about some of the content, if you're like, how do I let go? Go to that link. You'll get immediate personalized feedback for free and a free letting go meditation. If you haven't done the call yet, what are you waiting for? Because you're absolutely insane. It's free, completely free, and a free meditation. So JulienMentoring.com. Okay. Someone's like, should you be numb to reality? No, absolutely not. What kind of question? Should you be numb to reality? Oh, that sounds terrible. That sounds horrible. No, of course not. Who would say yes? Like, who'd be like, you know what? Yeah, you got to be numb to reality. No, of course not. You got to realign yourself with reality. What you think is real now, a lot of it's just social conditioning, terrible social conditioning that's limiting and negative and not beneficial to you. So you need to wake up to reality. What you think is reality isn't. You need to wake up to it. Julien, do you know Paul Wesley? I know who the actor is. I don't know him personally. However, so Paul Wesley is this actor who's in this TV show called The Vampire Diaries. And if you want a fun fact with The Vampire Diaries, so I was obsessed with this show when it came out. Again, I have some quirky little things here. The Horde knows what's up. But I was obsessed with, Vampire Diaries. I found it hilarious and awesome and captivating. And it's like this vampire love triangle, chick flicky thing. And Paul Wesley's in there. Paul Wesley was not my favorite character. I did not like Paul Wesley. I did like Ian Somerhalder, though. But I would watch this show, and I kept telling my friend, this is way, way back in the day, I'm like, man, if we met these people out, like if we met the girls out, that'd be so awesome, I feel like I'd project onto it, like we have this special connection. And I was out at this place in Hollywood called the Roosevelt Hotel, which used to be amazing. And I actually bump into one of the actresses on the show, right? And I thought, I'd rise to the occasion and be all cool. But in reality, I just froze and went into superfan mode. And yes, I go into superfan mode. And what did that look like? She was actually talking to my friend, and he's like, Julien, I want to introduce you. And I was like, oh my God. And she's like, oh, hey, my friend was telling me about you. And I froze, shook her hand, and literally could not let go of the hand. Now, and again, it's not like this weird, like, but it was like a little too long, awkward, and I didn't know what to say. So it's like, oh, he was telling me about you. And I'm just staring there in silence, like, and I'm like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. It was very awkward. So, an example of getting, I don't know why or where or what this story came from, but an example of getting stuck in your head and overhyped, which still happens, occasionally. So thank you for that Paul Wesley comment. Yeah. Yes. As leader of the Horde, it does still happen occasionally. Someone's like, is the Horde a cult? No, we are a consensual Horde. You can only become a Horde, part of the Horde if you want to. There's no forcing of, Hordism. Sounds like epic story. I know there's plenty of those embarrassing stories. Yeah, terrible. Someone's like, what about competitive in business? I mean, it's the same thing, right? Like, this is a good question, okay? So when I say shift out of being competitive, it doesn't mean now being blind to the competition and living in this little bubble, right? Still be aware of what's out there, and healthy, competition at times can be good, right? It's not this or that. It's, at times, sure, you can tap into that competitive state, but you don't want that to be your foundation. You want the foundation to be collaborative, because say, the question here is like, what about in business? Say here's your business and here's the competition. A lot of people just focus on the competition, and that's a good level, but here's what's even better. Instead of focusing on the competition, a level above that is within the business. You can playfully, constructively compete amongst each other to push each other to another level. And what's even better than that? Playing against what's possible. Not even having competition. Not even worried. Because that's where you want your focus to be. You want it to be on that win, not on someone else. You want it to be an opportunity, not obstacles. Right? If you think of classic example I've used in the past as well, you could say, this is you, right? You're somehow transported in water, right? Water is now going up to your knees. You're in this pond, this lake, and there's all these leeches swimming up to you and just latching onto your legs, right? You're in water, and on the other side of this swampy lake, you see this mountain of gold, right? That's your win. What people do is they're like, the leeches, and they just start taking off all the leeches, thinking that once they've taken off all the leeches, they'll finally take action. And all their focus is on the leeches. That's playing not to lose. That keeps you stuck, makes things worse. And then they start competing with the leeches. Instead, go for your win, and as you keep moving along, pull off the leeches as you keep taking action. Okay, you want to play to win, not play not to lose. Play not to lose keeps you stuck. Okay, and this brings up to an even deeper layer where if you take the levels of transformation, this is what I teach in my private mentoring group. There are 8 of them. Okay, it starts apathy, grief, fear, anger, and then it shifts to courage, desire, purpose, and love. This is the map of transformation that my clients and I all use. If you take the 4 lower levels or lower states, apathy, grief, fear, and anger, those are the competitive states. That's the me versus, right? And in each level, your response to the competitiveness will be very different. So apathy is me versus what's the point, right? Oh, it's me versus what's the point? Apathy, it's like you've given up. Grief, that's victimhood. It's me versus others, but it's too hard. Poor little me, little victim. Fear is me versus others, must protect myself. Anger is me versus others, let's do something about it. So each level, when you move up, you actually tap into more power. You are able to take more action, but it's still competitive. And it's still playing not to lose. And in the mentoring, right, when I guide people through this, these are the first levels that we address. so that when you let go of them, instead of, again, because that's what everyone's focus is at, I need to fix, I need to get the leeches off, I need the anger, the fear, all those things holding me back. People know what they need to fix, they know what's holding them back, they know what they don't want, right? Because they're playing not to lose. So we start processing that. And by doing so, their focus, their reticular activating system starts suddenly shifting away from all these problems to opportunities, away from the potential loss to, well, wait a minute, what's my win? Okay, playing to win. That is how you move forward, away from the leeches to the mountain of gold. And it's baffling when you ask people this, like, what's your win? How almost no one knows. I'll ask clients, okay, what's your win? Right, I'll start sometimes do this early on before they've processed all this. Like, what's your win? I don't know. Okay, well, say things went amazingly well today, tomorrow, till the day you die. What does that look like? I don't know. Right? People know all their problems, and you can play this little mental game with yourself here. Imagine a genie pops up in front of you. You have all your problems, right? Oh, it's so hard because of this, and I procrastinate. Say the genie now is like, and your problems are gone. Bang, they're gone. Now what? People have no idea. What do you mean, now what? I thought that's, you just have to get rid of the problem. Now what? What do I actually want? And they have no idea. Okay? That is the collaborative state. And if you don't know your win, and it can't be a reactionary win where it's like, well, my win is to prove them wrong. No. What's your authentic win? Nothing, no one to prove wrong, no one to beat. What's your win? If you don't know that, how are you ever going to make it? And that's why people stay stuck in this competitive state. Okay? And if you'd like to learn how to shift out of it, of course, this is done by letting go. Okay? Someone's like, nice shirt, Julian, but the Mickey Mouse looks a little depressed. I know. He's in a competitive state. Let's see here. Scrolling through some of the comments. There's some weird ones. It's like, I should pray to never encounter a desert spirit in real life. Mark, who comments that? Come on, Mark. So you jump on this live stream, we're going really deep. Competitive, collaborative. And he's like, but the desert spirit. Mark, you are no longer part of the Horde. So I'm sorry, Mark. No Horde. I'm just messing around. Sounds like, is spiral dynamics related to transformation mastery? Yes and no, right? Like there are many maps out there. There's spiral dynamics. You can look at the David Hawkins map. You can look at the Frederick Dodson map. There's so many maps and models. With transformation mastery, of course, I'm aware of all those maps, but I've just really broken it down based on experience, coaching experience, field experience from what I've seen in terms of my own experiences over the years with clients. Again, I've worked with tens of thousands of people face to face, not just a few. Okay, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a coach. YouTube, I'll share ideas, and I mean, who knows, right? Maybe now I'm a YouTuber with the way things are going. But no, I'm a coach, and based upon all that, and the awareness and talking to other people and reflection, this is what I boiled it down to. Okay, so this is, the Horde's method. The Horde mythology are the levels of transformation. Okay, so little side announcement. If this speaks to you, by the way, you want to learn how to transition out. Action alone won't do it, because a lot of the action we take are already within pre-imposed frames. So if you're in a competitive state, you're going to stay there. You got to shift to collaborative. If you would like to know how to do this, you can go to this link here, okay, JulienMentoring.com, and book a free coaching call. You can ask us questions. You'll get personalized feedback. If you have blind spots or things you might have misunderstood, go to that link. And more importantly, you'll also get a free meditation MP3, a letting go meditation that you can listen to and actually start letting go as of today. So if you're watching this, you're like, oh, how do I let go? It's like, go get the meditation, go get some personalized feedback. It's free. Just go to Julien Mentoring or click the link below this video. Okay. Comments like, for the Horde. I know that Horde just sounds so out there that I just love it. Like people, and this is the cool thing that the Horde will know, is if anyone ever asks, like, what's this Horde? It's like, oh, so you, it's like, yeah, I'm part of the Horde. And if you just say it casually, it's one of those sayings where you'll see people like kind of like blink twice and just like, wait, what? Like they're going, oh, cool, yeah, I'm part of the Horde. Wait, what? Horde? And us Horde, we feed off of those double take reactions. Let's see. Someone's like, accountability. Can you share more stories about celebrities? Maybe in another live. I'm thinking of maybe doing one. People fear so much like scary situations or what people think of them or making a fool of themselves. And yes, right, it's like play it smart, but a lot of those really awkward situations you fear so much avoiding make for some of the most epic moments and stories in your life. So I was thinking of maybe doing a live stream where I share some of those really embarrassing stories and just how awesomely embarrassing they are to perhaps kind of alleviate this must never be embarrassed, take yourself a little less seriously. So maybe. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification so you're notified when that live happens. For sure, though. Someone's like, nice Buddha. Are you Buddhist? No, but I love a lot of the principles. So a lot of principles from Buddhism go into my teachings, right? Hand in hand with it. A lot of letting go and a lot of stoicism and real life experiences. This mishmash that goes into what you will learn if you dare go to this link. And then one mention, if you just joined now, you can go to that link that I posted for a free call and a free meditation, but also April 15th to 18th, I'm going to be in Miami doing a 4-day live event, a 4-day seminar. Come join. Miami Winter Summit, I'm going to be there. My friend Owen's going to be there. My other friend Jeff's going to be there. It's going to be crazy. So, MiamiWinterSummit.com. Okay. Someone's like, is he a non-dualist now? No. I made a previous video talking about how I personally view enlightenment, right? People are like, non-duality, right? They think that's the goal. That's a lot of old school conditioning, okay? No. That's not what enlightenment is. Your purpose here on earth was not to be in a non-dual state. If you're 100% non-dual state, you're dead, okay? So that's old school conditioning where people are like, I am a guru. Now, fortunately, we've snapped out of it, and the only people who really still promote this type of enlightenment are drug addicts and ex-partiers, right? If you really think about it, it's like all these people used to party a ton when they were younger, right? They go to clubs and stuff, and now they're all like, actually, I'm now a manifestation coach. Or it's these people who are really heavy into psychedelics who are non-dual, I'm enlightened now, and they all look insane. So no. It's not the new age druggy enlightenment. It's not the old school guru enlightenment. It's, the Horde's version of enlightenment is very different, and you can watch a previous live about that. Sounds like greetings from Bulgaria. Whoa, welcome. Good evening. What camera are you recording with? It's a Sony a7S III. Sounds like we need a Horde emoji. I know, we should start one of those, what is it, the YouTube, one of those Reddit things? I don't know. We'll see. This is just the birth of the Horde. We'll see where this goes. But I do want to see Horde comments, and I do want to see the Horde owning the Horde name. Someone's like, I'm new here. Hey, you're now part of the Horde. I guess a final thing we can wrap with here. Just had a few bullets, making sure we touched on everything. Yeah, quite the delivery. I guess the last thing I'll leave you with is a fun little side tangent. This might be a tradition of these lives where we go deep into content. We have a good time. By the way, if you really take in what just happened here, I had a few bullets, but it was just literally riffing, right off the bat. I would never be able to do that if I was in a competitive state, right? And this is the other thing too. Look at this final point. When you're in a competitive state, you're wasting too much mental and emotional capital towards defending yourself, right? There's all that overthinking, worry. What if people see through the front? Wait, what are the power plays? Oh, all that paranoia that you're half there paranoid in your head and half present to what's happening. When you shift out, you're fully present to what's happening. And this is what allows you to truly crush it. Okay. Now, one ritual that started last week really is we can end these lives with fun little facts. Last week we talked about, was it last week? No, a few days ago. We talked about the whale moaning room in Clubhouse. If you missed that, you can watch the end of the live. The replay's still up for now. But in this one, I'll share another fun little story. So it'll be these crazy little fun facts at the end, right? Whale moaning room, what is that? For this one, I'll share a fun fact about a friend of a friend, right? So it's a friend of a friend, and this guy speaks 4 languages, right? 4 languages. However, and I find this crazy and baffling, he speaks 4 languages, but none of them perfectly. Meaning, due to his circumstances, how he was raised, like moved around a lot, he's okay in all languages. Like his vocabulary is not fully developed, and he has an accent in every language. So if he speaks, say, English, he speaks like English, Dutch, and some other stuff. He has like an accent in all of them, and his vocabulary is not developed. And I find this baffling because if you take you or myself, right? Assuming you're not that guy watching, like what? When you have that internal self-talk, you're able to communicate with yourself, right? Like you know that this is a phone, and you'll be like, oh, my phone, and that's how you'll talk to yourself. For him, there's words that are missing that he doesn't even know. It's just so limited that how does he even really talk to himself? So I don't know. Awesome guy, amazing guy, but I just find that very fascinating how someone really has no mother tongue. It's like they have an accent and they're average in all languages, but they know 4. So random fact. Is the Horde a thing now? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So spread the word. Spread the Horde word. We don't mess. No one messes with the Horde. Okay. Someone's like, do a 5-hour stream. Jack of 4 languages. I mean, he's successful, right? He's doing good, but it's just fascinating that he just doesn't know, like doesn't have a main language, right? Okay. Someone's like, I love Mickey. Well, nice. Cool. Well, there we go, people. We'll wrap it here, right? Last couple things. As I said, Miami. I'm coming to Miami next month, April 15th to 18th. If you live in Miami, click on, go to this link, Miami Winter Summit. Book your spot. Come see me live. If you live near Miami, make the drive. If you live outside of Miami in the U.S., make the flight. It's extremely safe. It's going to follow all the guidelines, obviously. And more importantly, it's going to be a crazy, fun, epiphany-driven, transformational, good time. And the Horde, of course, will be there. So Miami Winter Summit. And if you'd like a free coaching call and a free letting go meditation, MP3, go to Julien Mentoring or click the link below this video. This is really how you shift that meta frame, right? From competitive to collaborative, and things just flow from there. And that's actually another key point. Right now, you might already have all the technical things down, but it's still not working because it's in the competitive frame. People feel that. You have to basically shift those same technical mechanics over to the collaborative, and you're going to see your results shoot up. So go book your free call, come to Miami, and if whether you do or not, don't forget the Horde is a thing, and these lives are now a thing. Half, I guess, content, half riffing, half Q&A, kind of a podcast chill style. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notifications so you know next time I go live, because there is, at least right now, no schedule. It's whenever I feel like it. So make sure you hit the notifications. I think there's an option to do all notifications. That's the one you have to hit to be notified. So do so now. If you don't have your notifications on, if you aren't subscribed, you ain't part of the Horde. I wish you an amazing rest of your Sunday, Sun night, or Monday morning, right? Wherever you find yourself. And, blessings. to the Horde.